Hi, I'm Frank Robert with the Mid-Atlantic United Methodist Foundation. Who are we? We are you. The Mid-Atlantic United Methodist Foundation works only with United Methodist churches and agencies. We think that it's important for members of the United Methodist Church to be fruitful and extravagant in their gifts and gift giving. We believe in being a strong supporter of tithing, plan giving, and legacy giving. Stewardship is our first priority and mission, followed by providing investments, which is secondary. We look to be a provider of solutions beyond investments. We are guided by the Book of Discipline and are a separate 501c3 controlled by the 3 conferences and report to the CFA, or Council of Finance, for each conference. The treasurers of each conference are permanent members of our board. We are the entity that encourages churches and the agencies to start endowments or move their endowments to the foundation. All of our investments are screened against the General Board of Pensions list of restricted securities to comply with the United Methodist Church's social principles outlined in the Book of Discipline. We promote the Wesley motto of gain all you can, save all you can, and give all you can. Knowledge is power. Health knowledge or financial knowledge. In a recent Consumer Report survey, 57% of retirees have regrets about their financial decisions that they have made, while only 21% wish they had taken better care of their own health. Knowledge of our finances is powerful and can be reassuring. It helps in planning our lives and can free us to share wealth with the church and others. Remember the 3 T's: time, talent, and treasure. Being a hilarious giver of the treasure that God provides us is important. Now, investing on your own. Everyone has their own way of investing. And if there was just one best way, then it would be a single way. Like, what's the best chapter in the Bible? Lots of discussion. No single right answer. At the Mid-Atlantic United Methodist Foundation, the way we work with churches gives you a good example for your own investment choices. We recommend, if your church has an endowment, to make sure that you have an endowment or finance committee to work with and oversee professionals like the foundation. Keep it transparent and have continual oversight, just like with your own investments. Work with professionals that can keep you current and take some of the emotional investment out of the picture. Even my own investment advisor works with other advisors for his own personal investments. We are human, and the more you can take emotion out of the equation, the easier it can become to invest. Purpose. What is the purpose of the endowment at your church? Is it to fund special ministries like music, youth scholarships, building improvement, or mission projects? In the same way of thoughts, what about your own investing? What is the purpose of your own investing? Are you investing for retirement for you or your spouse? Is it funding college for you or your children or your grandchildren? Is it to purchase or start your own business? Is it to create an endowment at your own church to help it expand the youth ministries, or maybe to set up an adult daycare? You can see how it varies, and thus you need a plan for each, and having a professional advisor to help you through these changing opportunities is crucial. So plan. So once you have the purpose, you can begin to plan. What options do you have? Roth, non-Roth, 401ks, IRAs for future, or 529s for college? Will you have a pension or not? Does your employer match or not match the 401k? If they do match or pay an additional amount, that is often one of the key drivers of your investing. Tough questions. Where'd the simple piggy bank go? Sit down with your professional and all that involves so that everyone can work towards the same goal. We will have it as a given that everyone already has a will drawn up and is leaving at least 10% of your estate to the church. If not, make sure that your will is updated. Taxes, inflation, and unknown risk are some of the obstacles to overcome. A good strategic plan can help to overcome these hurdles. Return on your investments, risk, and time are key drivers of your investment plan. Ben Franklin once said, "Patience in market is worth pounds in a year." The earlier you start investing, the more time you have to accumulate wealth. Patience is a virtue and is necessary for success. So investing. Basic choices are stocks, bonds, and real estate. Alternatives such as annuities can also be an important component of your portfolio. At the foundation, we can set up individual annuities which would pay the individual a set amount throughout the year, and upon their death, the proceeds would benefit the church of their choosing. Please talk to your church's endowment committee or look on our own website for more information on the various types of annuities. There are other alternatives, but for this investing portion, we're just going to concentrate on the main core of stock and bond portfolios. So diversification. Why diversify? Simple question. At the foundation, we try to make it simple for the churches. We create customized SRI. What does that mean? Socially responsible investments that appropriately screen portfolios for the churches so that they can be as aggressive or as conservative as they wish. Usually this contains a portfolio with a mix of allocations of stocks, bonds, and cash. The same can be said for an individual investor. Ray Lucia suggests that you have different buckets of money, one for immediate short-term expenses handled with CDs and treasury bills. The second bucket is more for midterm needs such as bonds and annuities. The third bucket needs longer range planning such as for retirement with longer term assets like stocks and real estate. Time is important because you want to allow time for this last bucket to grow. He jokes that when someone is bucketized, they get that designation when they have the appropriate ratios and plans are implemented for each of the areas. If you were to put all of your eggs in one basket, say a single stock like Enron, you might have tremendous growth, but is that really the safest way to do it? Thus, diversify your basket and have other stocks, or called equities. These will obviously spread the risk and reward around. Historically, a basket of stocks or a fund of stocks would spread out your risk of losses and gains. Downside protection is important. If you had a single stock or portfolio of stocks, to say at $100 and lost 50% of its value, the resulting value would be $50. If it returned up 50%, where are you now? Not back at 100, but only at 75. Oftentimes, investment professionals will counsel downside protection. Even though stocks have historically had good returns, a blend of bonds may make diversification easier. At the foundation, churches typically choose a mix of stocks and bonds for their endowment, depending on their time horizon and what the purpose of the endowment might be, and the risk-reward ratio for safety. Most churches will agree that stocks have had the better return over the years, but also are more volatile than the more conservative bond funds. Most often, churches will have an allocation of cash, say 5 to 10%, stocks 50 to 60%, and bonds 50 to 40%. Depending on the situation, a similar personal investment strategy might be prudent depending on your goals and time frame. So, how to determine your own mix? A recent article in Money magazine talks about varying target allocations and quotes. Jack Bogle, founder of Vanguard, saying that the classic target allocation was based on 110 minus your age. For example, if you were 50 years old, then 110 minus 50 would give you 60. So you should have 60% of your stocks and 40% of your bonds. Bogle suggests to be more conservative, maybe using 100 minus your age nowadays. This classic approach forces investment choices into the more conservative bond portfolios as you age. It also depends on what and how long you're planning for. With our churches, we stratify these allocations even more, and for stocks and bonds, we have set up socially screened funds that are targeted to varying benchmarks. As an investor, you might consider doing the same thing. It will force you to diversify your portfolio, which diversifies your risk and allows you more exposure to more potential return. For example, in the foundation, we have under stocks 5 investment managers, each benchmarked or measured against their own specific target index so that one can capture various areas of potential return. We have one fund, a large cap core fund versus the S&P 500, a large cap value fund versus the Russell 1000 value, a large cap growth versus Russell 1000 growth, and a small cap versus Russell 2000. We have an international portfolio versus the S&P ADR index, and we have 2 different bond funds. We have one which is a short-term, 1 to 3 year fund, and a more intermediate fund which is a 4 to 5 years of maturity. A recent article in the April issue of Money magazine on how to reach $1 million runs various scenarios of possible outcomes based on your mix of bonds and stocks to reach your goals. Remember, these are just suggestions, and although they go through the best and worst case scenarios, they are just possibilities and are no guarantee of return. It also does a nice job of laying out considerations for managing your own portfolio, writing your will, buying life insurance, saving for college, how to buy a 529 savings plan for college, and other investment vehicles. It has some calculating tools for saving for retirement. Almost any investment professional should have an investment calculator on their website, showing you how much you should save to be able to retire, save for college, or whatever your goal might be. You might want to consider looking at AARP, Kiplinger's, and Consumer Reports websites for their own web-based calculators. So, continuous learning, oversight, checkups. So, is this the final answer in investing? Here at the Foundation, we're always looking to improve. We think more long-term, but each of our chosen investment managers must reapply for their positions every 3 years, maybe just like your own portfolio managers that you will hire. You might want to consider reevaluating and rebalancing your mix at least yearly, depending on your own plan. It seems like too much to know? Absolutely. It is. And just like a medical doctor we go to when we need checkups and health-related advice, the same thing for finance. Sure, we might survive on our own talent, but why not use the talents and skills of the doctor who deals with all these changing issues day in and day out? Consult a professional who stays current on the changing times to help you with your investments. So just a quick sampling of other things to look into include real estate investment trusts, charitable remainder annuities, charitable lead trusts, life insurance policies, and charitable gift annuities. Check out the Mid-Atlantic United Methodist Foundation website for further information on these annuities called CGAs, which are a unique way of eventually giving money to your church upon your death, yet also allow you to receive fixed income payments during your lifetime. You're on the right path as you begin to plan out your financial situation. Remember, 1 Timothy chapter 6, verses 10 reminds us that money is not a sin, but the love of money is. Remember to just use it as a vehicle to get you where you're going. Consult with a professional. They can tell you about all the other things that are not talked about here. Make sure that your entire family has the same vision and plan so that you're all working towards the same goals. Recently, 61% of millionaires say they still have a great deal to learn about investing. We can all continue to learn in this ever-changing environment. We at the Foundation are here to help the churches grow with stewardship and endowments investing. Remember to tithe, not just on Sunday morning when the offering plate is passed, but also remember your church and your will. 90% of your assets passed on to your children will be appreciated, but think of what that 10% of your assets given to a worthy mission in your church can do. It might be a game changer for your church's ministry. Think of what impact it might have for our real mission here, which is, of course, to make more disciples for Jesus Christ. Thank you for your time. One of the Mid-Atlantic United Methodist Foundation objectives is to help inform, guide, and educate our client churches in the investment of church resources for making disciples. We hope to be a provider of solutions beyond investments.